Yeah, let me know. How long have you been part of service side? Where are you from? How much video experience do you have? How much editing experience? I'm telling you guys right now, I want this to be, it's informational. I want you guys to reap benefits for being here, okay? This is going to be recorded. You can go back and you can access this information. I've been doing this for a long time. I've been doing this for 10 years now. And it's weird to say that. So, and 10 years ago, in 2011, I actually switched from being a Windows guy to Mac. So I personally use Final Cut Pro. You're going to see Final Cut Pro, which is an app you can buy for $300 in the App Store for your Mac. You don't have to use this. There's a couple free ones out there. There's Adobe Premiere Pro. It's a great product. This is just what I use. So just understand, like, if you already use Mac, if you're on the fence, it's going to be really helpful to see how I do things. But I am going to give you guys the basic concepts for how to be successful. Okay. Let me see here. Okay. Let me just read through some of these comments. Now, I am not positive how things are going to go with when I start to share the screen, if I can see comments. So I got Justin. He's our basically a lot of hats. Justin Edwards, but you guys that have just joined, you talked to him. He's customer relationship management, a lot of field staff oversight. So I told him, Justin, just text me if I can't read the stuff. Gage, I actually started server side in Davenport, Iowa. That's pretty cool to see that. And I went to Palmer Chiropractic. So I'm still in my scrubs. And I'm just like you guys, like the program that I've designed with service side and Torren and I have been working to nurture and grow, it is designed for guys that have like a regular 9-to-5 job or whatever it is, that want to dabble in the outdoor industry, or guys that you guys want to make this your future. We're here to help you out. And as we help you grow, just make sure you give credit where credit's due. So tonight I'm going to give you some of the basics, and I'm pretty excited to show you guys tonight because here, let me run outside. This is pretty cool. Oh, granted, I'll probably lose my signal, but while you guys are joining on here, I'll show you. So tonight I am going to be, let me get locked out, dropping this off for my dad. Let me open it. I just got this back. This is from an elk hunt the other year, and my dad shot his first elk. So if you guys can see that. This is never before seen footage. So after the webinar, I'm sad, my truck, my pride and joy. I'm selling that tonight. That guy, he's from West Virginia. He don't know it yet, but he's about to join service. We actually talked a little bit about it. He's pretty excited. But I'm dropping the elk head off with my dad. And I thought, you know what? This is a great time for me to edit that video. So I know it's like deer season. I know you guys are getting pumped up for that. Listen, the same stuff applies, all right? That's public land elk that my dad shot. I got to be there. I got to film it. It was a pretty cool experience. So you guys are gonna get to see some footage that does not exist on YouTube. And my goal is that I can put this together. I don't know if I get to finish that in an hour's time. I probably won't, but I want to get that out there. So same principles are going to apply. You know, as we're doing stuff, we want to show, you know, with service side, we want to show service side, we want to show the brand, we want to show the camaraderie, the community, give some education component, and then obviously we want to show some success. Okay, to push things forward though, for service side, what we're trying to do here, I'm plugging my things back in. You know, the goal is to inspire hunters and educate hunters. And that's what the platform is about. It's a community to connect. So you guys being here right now, like, add each other on the service side app. If you haven't downloaded it, get on that app, connect. This is how connections happen, you know. We got guys from Iowa, Alabama, Michigan, Maryland, PA. I mean, this is really cool. So you guys can connect, Kentucky, Vermont. All right, this is your opportunity to make connections and do hunt swaps and things like that. This does not exist on any platform. So the hardest part about service side is explaining like what we have to offer. It's really cool. Wisconsin, Blaze, if you're in Buffalo County, we're gonna talk about a hunt swap. All right, I'm just kidding. All right, so guys, yes, we'll be recording it. Chase Larry, we will record it. You'll be able to get that. All right, Justin answered that, but you guys will have access to this later. Okay, so without further ado, we're about 5 minutes into when we're going to start. We got a handful of guys. I know there's a bunch more guys, so hopefully they roll in, but we're going to get this started. And like I said, it's an intimate group here. You guys take advantage of asking questions and I'll answer them. Okay. So we are going to share the screen. You can share. All right, let me get this set up. Final Cut Pro. Okay. Sorry guys, I'm pretty techie, but when it comes to certain stuff, it's like I don't know what I'm doing. All right. So when we're making all right, let's just start the basics. So if you guys were here last week, I appreciate that. If you weren't, when you want to be successful in filming your hunts, the best thing you can do is think about how you're going to edit that. And if you can think a step ahead about how the edit's going to be when you film that and you go to edit it, it's going to go way better. As you guys can see, this is from 2019. So this is, two years ago already. And it's crazy. Just got that elk head back. So he had a tan in Colorado, which definitely slowed things down. So just to briefly show you Final Cut Pro, I don't want you guys to get hung up on what the editing software is, but when you import data, there's a spot that you can import it. You can plug in your phone, you can plug in your SD card. You're gonna be able to import it. It's really important to try to organize that content so that it's gonna set you up for success. So as you'll see in my file here, I have elk hunt 2019. Okay, and this is like an overall folder where everything's stored. All right, so let me load this. So I want you guys to see what a timeline storyboard looks like. So at the time that I was putting this together, I was giving some clips of what was going on. Okay, and this is how we can really put together an attractive video, is to have all these components. All right, so as you see here, I have a clip shooting the gun. All right, and then I'm going to talk, and you guys should hear this.
Difference in the case. So I guess we'll be using the Federal Power Shocks that I was deer hunting with. I was going to go with this little heavier round, and totally didn't realize that there's a variation there. So that's my.
So here, as you guys can see, I'm wearing a service-side hat. I've got my safety stuff on. Like you guys, I understand you don't necessarily have glasses on when you're out hunting, but like try to show the safety aspect. If you're in a tree stand, you got to have your harness on. You got to do these things because people are watching what you're doing. And a lot of guys are new. They're learning stuff. They're here to learn. So, but you see, you got service side hat on, and here I'm giving some educational tips on different ammo. I got some different ammo there. Okay. So, what I like to do are straight transitions in my cuts. When I hit play here, you'll see
Downrange here.
The frame's going to change. Okay. All right, so there I changed the frame. So when you're filming, it's not always something, and this goes back to last week's video, you're not going to always have two different cameras, but if you can have two different angles, it makes things easier. Okay. On Final Cut Pro, Adobe Premiere Pro, it doesn't matter the program, there's some shortcuts. So if you see my screen here, you can see my cursor. If I hit the B button, all of a sudden it just changed into a blade. And now I can click, and I can actually trim things up, and I can click another button to go back to my arrow, and I can shift. Okay. The shortcut keys, and I just did an undo command. The shortcut keys are going to exponentially speed up your process with editing. All right. You don't need to know those right now. I don't want you guys to get hung up on that. If you right click, you should be able to find some different options. Okay. I highly recommend that you learn the short code, the keys. It's going to make things so much more intuitive. If you guys are new to editing, it's going to take some time. Okay. They actually make keyboards, and this is not one. I'm on my laptop right now. They make keyboards. I don't know if you guys can see my split screen, but they make keyboards that you can buy, and this is not one, that are color coded for editing that show you the keys. I just never invested in one of those. All right. So I could right click here. and I can do some different things like expand the audio. I can detach audio. I can do some different things. In Final Cut Pro, we have, and I'm so used to doing the clips here, the quick things, but there's some drop downs. Okay, you can do some transformations, crops, and then you can speed up duration. So here we have, let me see here. All right, blade speed. So, and that's a new one. Okay. If you guys use Mac, I'll just tell you the command key, which is the little weird squiggly box in the bottom left, and then Z is your undo. All right. Oh, where we go? All right. I jumped back. Oop. Okay. I had to go back in it. So when you're doing the transition and cuts, all right, you're gonna need some different clips. So what I have here is basically it's called a timeline, where I have all these clips here that are basically edited. All right. There's a command plus that allows you to zoom. And all right, where is, you guys got to forgive me because I'm so used to these little buttons. I'm not sure where some of the commands are. Here it is. Okay, there it is. There's a drop down here. All right, so we got blade. That's letter B. So actually, this is cool. It tells you the letters, and I don't even know if it used to do that. So we got blade, zoom for Z. All right. So if you hit Z, now I can zoom in. And by zooming in, what that does is expands the frames. Okay, so by expanding the frames, that is going to allow you, and then you want to go back to select, that's going to allow you to fine tune your stuff. Because if you're zoomed, let's just say you're zoomed way out. All right, so the minus sign zooms you way out. Like you can scrub through, but it's hard to see what's going on. All right, so go plus sign, and then it's going to zoom. If you guys have a slow computer, it's not going to, it's called render. It's not going to do that as quickly. Okay. So, what I have here, at one point I did upload this to YouTube, and then I never edited the rest of the hunt. So let me read some questions here first, because I want to jump into some new content. So, all right. Yeah, Blaze, do you work right from your external hard drive like the Lacy? So the Lacys are supposed to be really nice. They're a rugged case. If you can get like a solid state drive, that's going to be really good at SSD. There's no moving parts. I've used solid state drives like a Lacy, Toshiba. They make a really nice one. It's small. That works really nice. You plug it in. Definitely recommend you do work from an external one. Right now, my laptop, this is actually on the hard drive. If you get into a lot of editing, that's a lot of strain. Okay. I've even used larger ones. I don't have it in my desk anymore, but the larger one, it's called a RAID 0, where there's actually a couple hard drives and it speeds things up. But if one of those breaks, like you lose all that data. So I can answer those like more specific questions later. But right now I want to just jump into like how we do this. All right. So let me close the chat. And then actually, if you guys can answer, can you see me on the split screen as I'm doing this? Because I asked Torn if you guys could see that. He didn't think I'd be able to, but I can see myself. So I like to talk with my hands, and I'm not Italian. It's funny. All right. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a new, let's do a new project. Okay. And the new project, let me see if I can move my toolbar. Here we go. Okay, so we're going to call this field staff tutorial. And it's saved in the event elk hunt 2019. Okay, now this is going to open up a brand new timeline, as they call it. All right. All right, what do you guys see in the chat? Yes. Yeah. Okay, awesome. Excellent. Jeremy, glad you're here, man. Jeremy's an OG. Jeremy, how long have you been part of Serviceside, man? Jeremy's from New York. He's attended several events. You guys that do this stuff, you get so much out of the program. Like it's insane. Okay, so I just made a a new library, all right, called elk hunt. Now, these up here projects, these are the finished, like what I have finished so far, all right. This one here, I last edited November the 3rd. So let me just dive into some of this content that's here, all right. So any editing software, it's going to have some way that it stores the media that you can see it, all right. I should be able to zoom in or zoom out, okay. So like if you zoom out, it's gonna shrink down the clip so you can scroll through a little faster. If I zoom in, you'll start to see, oh, there you go. Now I can actually start to see like more individual things going on, all right. There's one of those pine squirrels out there. So East Coast boy, I'm like, oh, cool, pine squirrel. There's nothing else moving around. A lot of times I like to be more zoomed out because you get an idea just looking at the clip pretty quickly, the date, and it's going to go in chronological order for how to edit it. All right. So the cool thing about me doing this video here, it's been 2 years. It's kind of like when I get video from you guys, or if you guys are going to be editing for other staffers and work out, you know, however you guys are going to pay each other for that. You're just kind of going off. You don't really remember exactly how everything laid out. All right. Sometimes, and I always like to scroll down because sometimes you'll have things that got out of chronological order, like here. Yeah, so actually this is laid out. All right, forgive me. This is laid out so it goes in order of dates. So this is the last date. There's my there's my cousin.
Son of a bitch.
All right, that's a funny story. Actually, let me see if I have it there. He was bear hunting. He sent this from his phone, or he was black squirrel hunting, and see if you can see this. But he has a black bear that ran up. Oh no, it should be in this clip. All right, it's not in there. But anyway, he sent that, and I want you guys. This is a good example of, like, I always tell you guys, if you're the last thing, hold your phone sideways when you film, because if you don't, it's vertical, it's going to distort things. And then if you text it, it's going to be really distorted. So I'm going to go over the upload stuff. And sorry, it's my ADD. I tend to jump around. So that first thing that you just saw, right? Here's what it looked like before any editing. All right. The camera was set up, sitting there. And I walked over.
I checked it out. Exactly what I thought happened.
All right, so I probably did a couple takes here. Wait, you can see my dad. I think my dad was in there. So this is what you call scrubbing, all right? In Final Cut Pro, there's a spot here that you can click that if you turn it off, you can't scrub, all right? You turn it on, you can scrub. This allows you to go really fast, all right? So if we use the drop down here so you guys can see better, I can go to B for blade, and I can be like, you know what? I wanna use right there. Right there is about to shoot, okay? And I'm going to split that, and then I'm going to go over here and grab my cursor, select that, and then I will hit the delete key. Boom, that's gone. All right. The cool thing about editing digital content on a computer is that even though you delete it, you can get it back, or you can hit undo. So this feature here called trim, I can grab and I can scroll to the left, and then I can start to pull that back. So instead of hitting the B key, selecting that, and then deleting it, all right, I can also take my trim tool, grab a hold, and trim it to where I want to stop. So another helpful hint and tip, if you guys look at my timeline, all right, is down here, you at the bottom of the image, you can see little spikes, and those little spikes are sound clips. And the sound clip, you can see, jumps real high. Let me zoom in here. Okay. You can see where that looks yellowish red. All right. And that's right when that gun blast goes off. Boom. All right. So sometimes if you're like looking, because let's say you're editing a hunt and a deer's standing there for 20 minutes and like you're trying to find that kill, like look for the spike in sound. That's probably where the gun or the bow or something went off to make that noise. All right. Here you can see it. I'm going to shoot again by looking at that spike. All right. Now there's going to be times that you want to take the audio out. So if I right click, I can detach the audio. and I can select that, and I can change the height of that volume, or I can decrease it. All right. Sometimes it's nice to do that, but what can happen is, let's just say you trim this and you want to get rid of that. And then you add something else in. Once it's detached, it can be hard to get that back in. So let's just chop this up a little bit. Now, let's see where that gunshot's at. Here's the gun. You can see the gunshot, and I didn't do it. It's because I just took out a section of stuff. You'll eventually see my gun's going to jump. Whereas I pulled that out. So that can really mess you up if you detach it. That's a bit more of an advanced technique, if you will.
All right. So on the edge of that paper. So
see, I'm not talking, I'm not doing anything. I pulled all that audio. All right. So there's a time and a place for all that. Okay. All right. Give me 1 second. I told you guys I got a guy buying my truck. I'll be right back. I'm gonna give him the keys and go play around. All right, I don't see him. We'll let him marinate. He's all excited. All right. So do I got any questions here? I got 8 chats. All right, Jeremy, 4 years. What's up? Okay. GoPro offers video editing software. It's free. Yeah, like there's so many editing softwares, and guys, what it comes down to is it's the basics. So if I'm losing you guys, like I'll backtrack a little bit. Jarrell, Adobe Premiere. Jeremy, I think it's really close to Adobe, but like I'm pretty sure you're an Android guy and I'm an iPhone guy. It's just I just feel like I don't know what I'm doing, you know. So with that being said, I think it's really close. Torrens is really close. I need to learn it because it seems like it's a little more like just accepted across the board. But and the nice thing about Adobe, like you can do a monthly fee if you guys are in college, or like you have a hookup with somebody in college. They have really good like incentives for that too. But like Final Cut, I paid $300 like 10 years ago, and I've been getting updates ever since. I own Final Cut, and I have it downloaded. We had 2 iMacs upstairs. We got one in the office. I got my you know, so like they start to limit how many devices you can have it on, but it's really nice. So what I want to make sure you guys get are the basics here, okay? And so you guys saw like that intro where I had things spliced together. So let me get into more of the heart of like filming the hunting, all right? And this right here is what you would call B-roll. So here I'm scrubbing over what I have in the project library, all right? When I want to grab something, I'm like, man, that's a really cool shot. I click it and I can drag it right into the timeline. All right. Now, something that I want to spearhead, you guys that have like your own YouTube channels, like do whatever you want. All right. But for all purpose intent for service side, like I want things to be consistent, and to be consistent, I want clean transitions. So like transitions when you go from one scene to the next. So right here, when I hit play, spacebar is the key for that. I think that might be across the board, but I'll hit play. So it's gonna go from this scene to this scene. All right. Now I'm gonna zoom in a little bit. And one thing to watch is that a lot of times I'm gonna scrub through. A lot of times, like when you guys are about to turn off play, there's gonna be like a little hesitation just because you moved. So sometimes I like to just trim that little bit off just to keep things cleaner. And just like when you first start. So this is kind of cool because I'm panning and sweeping. They've moved some of this stuff over the years. So let me see where we're at. Here, this little button here is a transition. Okay. So as you guys see, there's all kinds of crazy stuff. I like to use cross dissolve or just let it just go into itself. So cross dissolve, you're going to drag and you're going to overlay that between these two. All right. And what will happen is it's going to dissolve into the next one. All right. You can actually drag this out a little further or shorter. So you see there's red on this side and there's not here. What I'd have to do is you can double click to separate the frame, or you can you also have the option to click it, delete it, and then go back and work in here. All right. So if I take a little bit more off, at the end of the day, we know there's still framing there. All right. So if I really shorten this up and I put this back on, oh, I want it over here. I messed it up. All right. I'm going to put it back. I'm going to drag this back here. I should be able to extend that out. All right. It's not letting me. You can only, okay. You can only cross this off so much, but sometimes, let me use a better example. Yeah. Let me use it. Okay, there's not enough extra media to do this because I have it trimmed the whole way out, and now it has nothing to transition to because I'm telling it to start here. So like if I hit create transition, it's going to shorten it up. All right, because when you open it up, there needs to be enough there to create a transition, and that's something that like can frustrate a new editor. They don't really know why, you know, what's behind it. All right, now if you guys can hear. You hear the cars, and then at the very end, you might, let me turn it up by increasing the decibels, by dragging these up because the audio is detached. You can hear somebody talk right there. All right, right here. All right, it actually was in this clip. Okay, I knew there's somebody talking somewhere. So like, for somebody that's viewing that, it's like, whoa, is that like the Iroquois in the background? Like, what's going on here? All right. So what you want to do is you'll drop that down. All right. Now the cool thing is, in a robust editing thing like this versus you don't have as much ability in something like iMovie. iMovie is a free thing for Mac. You don't have the ability to layer stuff. So what I'm going to do is show you guys a basic thing with music. All right. If you have like iTunes, you might have, here's a bunch of podcasts we have saved. I might have something that's royalty free. No. So I look for that. What you might be able to, yeah, I don't have as much on here. So I have some podcast stuff. If you have a royalty free thing, we have to be careful because we have to own the rights to that if we're putting on our YouTube. If it's for your personal YouTube, have your way with it. All right. So let's go in the Mac. I got nothing here. Okay, let me show you guys. Let's switch gears here, and let me share my screen to my internet. So let's go Google Chrome. I'm gonna show you guys something pretty cool. All right. All right. So let's go to YouTube royalty-free music. This is something you guys can use, and you're glad to. So, audio library for creators. All right. So something you can do. Nope. This is somebody's channel. All right. Very clever to get traffic. Where are we at? No, I was looking at wood burning. There you go. Audio library. All right. I'm making myself look bad. Where is? Unless it was that channel. Hold on. All right. I'm looking bad here because there was a link to this. Let me see. Maybe it's because I'm not signed in, but there's a place that you can download music. All right. So this is what I'll just do. I'll just go into, here's a podcast that I did in Florida for Whitetail Theories. So I can drag that audio and I can overlay that. So let's just pretend I'm using this as music or an overlay. Forgive me. And
7:30. And dude, I ended up there until like midnight. The owner like of the place happened to be there that night. And dude, they were just like, we were just drinking sake and getting all fucking hammered.
Nice. So that is how you overlay music in with that. So to get more advanced, let me go. I didn't plan on doing this on my laptop. So I apologize for that, but let me go back to the elk part 2 here and see. I don't think I have, there's no music there. Elk part 1. All right. But I want you guys to just, I want to drive this point home. So like, here is some video, and you can see at the bottom, there's me talking. Let me zoom in. Okay. The reason I didn't have to take that part out is because this video, it's on top chronological. Whatever's on top is going to supersede what's on the bottom. And this should be the same across all editing platforms. But what's going to come through is the audio. So this should be mixed together.
That morning, and then we made the trip to the Harrisburg airport, had a layover in Chicago, and then we took the final flight down to Albuquerque, got a rental car, and then we made the trip up. It was some really beautiful scenery. And right now I'm at a bed and breakfast. We crashed here last night.
So as I'm talking, oh, there's a mule deer we saw. Is pretty cool.
12:30 in the morning.
So as I'm talking, that transitions back
They can dry out. So I got
to me
two
talking.
pairs of.
Okay. Now, if there was any point in time I just wanted that audio, I could actually click on here. I could detach the audio. I could get rid of the video. Gone. All right. With a couple Command Z's, I can go right back to where I was at. All right. Learn the short codes, guys. If there's one big tip to tell you, learn it. Like I do it intuitively. I've edited for a long time. So I'm hitting like the plus and the minus symbol to do that. You got to hit Command before you do that. And yeah, I just tried that. So the fact I can hit B, I thought for some reason I'm so used to hitting the Command button. I guess you don't always have to do that. Okay, so when you're editing the video, we want to see the storyline. All right. So when I actually put this out, and it should be on YouTube if I do recall, I just never got to the meat. This is way longer. This right here is 10 minutes long. All right. When you guys edit a video for me, like I don't need to see all this stuff. But it doesn't mean that we don't necessarily want it. Jeremy raised a hand. Oh, that's cool. People raising hands. All right. Sorry, forgive me. Chat. Where are we at? Yeah, we offer to do editing, Richard. So the way it works, we're giving up to $500 for videos. So, and YouTube is not monetizing stuff. So $300 would be fair chase, whitetail bucks. I'll take a fair chase elk too. It's just not our main focus. And if you edit it, that's your other 200. If you don't, then I'm going to end up spending $200 of my time or staff's time or something's time to do that. That's basically how that works. Oh shoot, I'm so sorry. That's why you guys are raising hands. I didn't share my screen back. Good gosh. All right, Jeremy, it's gotta call me to get my attention here. All right. Can you guys see it now? Yay. Oh man. All right. I'm not a great zoomer yet. We're gonna get better. All right, cool. So guys, what I was just explaining here, let me zoom this out, is right here where I was overlaying, you can see down below image 8780
in Chicago.
I'm talking. If I highlight that, I could detach the audio. I don't need to because this content above there, it supersedes it, and then I fade into it. I probably left it there because if I wanted to edit something or change something, it just made it a little bit cleaner. Okay. But you could detach that to clean it up, click it, and then it's gone. All right, boom. So sorry, I forgot to switch the screen share. Everybody's back on board again. Good. I got applauded by Jeremy. Good. All right. So let's go back. Let's go back now to my field staff tutorial. All right. So I'm going to zoom out so I can see a little bit better what's going on. I don't need to listen to Craig's birthday turkey podcast. I'd recommend you guys listen to it. It's pretty cool. I was down in Florida when we did that, and we recorded out in the middle of the woods where we camped out. Great time. So chronological order. I think you can switch the order, but I'm gonna go back to when we started. So let's get, I want you guys to see some cool stuff. So let's get to the meat and potatoes of it. So let's just set a little highlight there. All right, here's a bunch of us walking in the woods. All right, you know what? That's enough of that. We're gonna hit B. We're gonna trim this shorter. Hit A to select and delete to delete. All right, we're walking, and here's my dad getting set up. So I want to show that, but man, that's kind of cool to see how he just put that chair together. Let's speed it up, right? So I'm gonna click on it. I'm gonna click on this little timer, and I'm gonna go fast. Ooh, 2 times, 4 times. How fast want to go? Well, let's make it 8 times faster. It just shrunk down because it's 8 times faster. So I can zoom in. Oh, I can zoom in a little bit on my timeline so I can see it a little better. But when I hit play, oh, you know what I did? Sorry, I zoomed in on this guy because I was hovering there. You can change your view to fit your screen, do whatever you want. Sometimes you want to zoom in. Guys, you don't really need to get that technical like with what we need. We just want good transitions, a good storyline, camaraderie, education, inspiration, yada, yada, yada. All right. So, all right. And honestly, it doesn't really go together, but I'm just showing you this stuff. Now we're sitting here, and it's cool because you can see here what's about to happen. All right. I like this. So there's my camera on a tripod. There's my hand. Nobody wants to see my calloused hand there. It's probably gonna have callus. I work on people. All right. So what we're gonna do. All right. First night of the trip. Did you see that? So I'm gonna zoom in, and I'm gonna look at the bottom for my audio. Oh, I was whispering. You can't hear it. So let's grab that and pull that up, and see if I can. Yeah, I was really quiet. Now I want to go back to this hand. Here I'm getting it ready. All right, right there. So now it's like we're rock steady. So here, I'm gonna select that. Boom. Let's get rid of that guy. Right? Maybe I want to put a cross dissolve on there. Oh, I don't have enough data because I made that all fast. So hit create transition. Let's see what that looks like. All right. So we're gonna hit. I want to show you guys this too. In this upper left corner, this is called rendering. And what happens is sometimes, especially if you have a slower computer, it takes time. You want to let that get caught up. Otherwise, you're gonna really bog things down if you don't let that catch up. If you're editing fast, you're gonna get bogged down and your computer could crash. Okay, so let's watch this now. So here it's a little hard to hear. That's where subtitles could be good. It's up to you guys. It's something that I've been wanting to work on adding more of, but I'm talking about the trip. All right. So now already bring them on. All right. So that's trim that short because I don't care about that. Delete that out. All right. And we just trim that up. Now here's some clips of the hunt. So, all right. Boom, boom, boom. So let's just show this. Not much going on here. And then what we can do, and there might be some better ways to do this, but I'm gonna right click here. I should be able to. All right, right click, and I should be able to create. All right, let's do this. Let's do file. Where are we at here? It's gonna, again, it's gonna be different for every editing thing, but where's my gap generator or placeholder? So you can do placeholder or gap. Okay, it's basically nothing. So let me get rid of that. I don't want that actually. It's gonna be gap. So file, where was I at? Edit, insert. Oh, hold on. You guys can tell I'm a little rusty with my insert generator. It's gap generator. Okay, so gap is just this black space. And then I want to show you guys, it's kind of cool to do this because, all right, so let's just kind of show, we're sitting here, let's go. You can leave it a straight edit to go right back to here. And then let's dissolve into the dark. All right. Now, you don't want to leave too long of a space because you can lose your interest in people. But if we do this, watch what happens. This is a cool effect. It gets dark. And now we're walking out in the dark. All right. So let's just do that and be like, all right, that was day one. It was a bust. Okay. So I'm going to come back over to, let's go, where's my, all right, they moved it. Sorry. Text let's do a text title generator. All right. You guys try to keep something kind of simple. You can get as creative as you want. Lower thirds, basic. You got to figure out which one. I like blur a lot. I've used that a lot. So I'm going to drop this here and I'm going to put in here end of day 1. All right. Now, where this begins and ends is where it's going to begin and end on the film. Now, as the thing says blur, it's going to blur in and blur out. You have the ability actually that you can mess with some of the different things here, when it blurs in, when it blurs out. I don't want to get into all that stuff because it just gets crazy, but we can change, edit the text, etc. So we're going to go transition and end of day 1, and I capitalized the 1, so it says exclamation. Way to go. All right, so I don't want that there. Let's put that here. All right, so we're going to go end of day 1. Maybe you want that to kind of blur in as this blurs out. So that's a little soon. So I'm going to zoom in a little bit more and I'm going to fine tune that because I want to get that right where I want it. So I'm scrubbing on the timeline, and all right, that's kind of cool. I'll keep that. And it's going to zoom out with the frame. All right. And maybe I want to actually shorten this up and just line it up. Okay. And as you see, like this will turn yellow. It just kind of helps you line it up. It's just a nice little feature. So, but because the effect is blur out, it blurs out before that. So sometimes you'll have it drag over, even though your next scene is going to be there, it's not really there. And that's what you got to look at. All right. So I'm going to go back to my library of content, and let's scroll up to the next day. All right. And let's go to the next day and the next day. Because guess what, guys? It was a hard hunt. We didn't see too much stuff, but as if you guys were here early, you saw the elk in the back of my minivan. All right. So let's get to the fun part that's never been seen. Let's see. So here we are. Oh, this is such a beautiful view of a place. Nothing happened that night. Let's go up.
This meadow, sometimes there's hunters killed. That's not the case right now, so it's probably
So here's some wind, and what happened that night? We had a great wind. Oh, come on, where did you go? Oh. All right, so there we were setting up, and yeah, I'm looking at the time. I'm not gonna have time to show you guys the whole thing here, but so I'm gonna scrub forward here, figure out what's going on. Where are we at? All right. Okay, stuff got a little bit out of order. I'm like, that's what I'm like wondering here. So here my dad's checking the wind, and oh, there's an elk. All right. So the fun part's trying to figure out what happened. Like I said, it's been 2 years since I got into this. Don't ask me what happened. I didn't get it edited, but okay. So this is where there's a ton of footage here because a lot happened that day. So when I'm in my library and I'm in reverse, everything's like the next day, but the days work their way down. So actually at the beginning of this day, it's at the top of the 22nd. All right. So that's where we're like getting set up, going in. All right. And we didn't kill that morning. I remember that much. We did a really crazy calling sequence. So it was that night, there we are at camp. And then that night we hiked back in. So now I'm like scrolling back to where we started. So this is like when he was getting set up. All right. And this clip here, let's look at this because this is gonna, yeah. Okay, so if I zoom out, all that stuff that I showed you here, you see how long this clip is? And this is where he actually kills the elk. Let me see. I had a question I saw pop up. Let me just check that real quick. Gage got kicked out. You guys are getting in editing. What's the number one thing you see when looking at a video? Keeping it simple, Justin. It's just the transitions, royalty-free music. Don't overpower it. If you're not sure about music, leave it out. Just get the audio clear. All right. So I want you guys, and this is a really good example for you guys, because in this clip, if you look at it's from here, we're at 1.5 minutes, and there's 6 minutes. So like that's pretty long. You guys will get to see this for the first time, but a lot actually happens in this one. It might be worth keeping some of it. Okay. So here my camera's locking on the brush. All right. But this bull steps out. It's the second last day of the hunt and first bull. So we're pretty pumped about that. So it's not the big bull my dad was going for, but like, I can't wait to watch. I haven't watched this since it happened. His reaction's so good. It's like, it's so pure. And this is why I love hunting, especially with family and friends. So this bull's about 200 yards out. I'm freehanding it. I had to get around the tree by my dad. Tell he thinks something's not quite right. Now, can you guys see where the gunshot's about to happen? Look at the audio. All right. So I want to keep this, and I want you guys to leave your reactions too about this. This is gonna be good. So that bull just went down, and I threw my camera down, and that other bull, I actually take a Hail Mary at. You can guess when it's gonna happen. There it was. All right, now the whole field's cleared out. So actually, I don't even know if I told a lot of people, I got to take a shot at an elk. So, but I was worried about getting my dad an elk. You watch that drop down. That's the first I've actually watched that on a larger screen. He hit the top of that bull.
That just dropped. Yeah, shoot him.
So he's trying to shoot 200 yards out. This bull's wounded.
I took a shot that one left.
You can feel the adrenaline in the air.
Comfortable.
I don't know what I'm filming here. So the thing is, guys, I want to pause this. Like, this is so pure and raw. Like, there's certain times you cut stuff out, but there's certain times it's like, I want to see the rawness because people want to see that because it's real. This is real. All right. And I apologize if there's any cussing and stuff because I honestly don't know what's about to happen next. I know it was quite the heat of the moment, but now this is the part that's hard to watch, and you guys can watch this stuff. This is the part that needs to be cut out. Okay. This animal's injured. All right. We can show that we're not always like gonna put something down right away. We can show that we can miss, we can have trouble, but I don't really want to see this. And you guys can show me this. It's part of hunting. All right. But this stuff right here, it's going to need to be clipped out. All right.
On your shot or not.
So tough thing is it's 200 yards out. We don't know if the scope's bumped or whatever. So, and I don't want to get too crazy with this, but he shoots again. And this is the hard part. All right. Cause I want you guys to see this. So that was way up in the air, and the guy's saying shoot higher because he thinks it's low.
Way high. Way high.
All right. And what ends up happening is, I want you to see your reactions here. And I don't know if it's on, let's see if it's on video or not. All right. So right here. So it went down. I'm surprised it's not on the video. So let me find where it's at. It's pretty funny. So we scrub forward. So here, so I want you guys to see. This is just the reality. And I told the taxidermists, they just laughed and said it happens all the time, which I couldn't believe. But look at the antlers. Bullet went into the antler.
He hit the horn twice. He destroyed his horn, Dad. Taxidermists can fix that.
Oh, they can fix it. Yeah.
Doesn't bring me back to the time. So
I guarantee that scoop got bumped.
yeah, my dad's a good shot. I'll give him credit. But guys, it's gonna happen. So when you edit this, go in there. You can show some stuff happen. You can talk about it later. Like we're gonna cut that stuff out, right? And if you want to show like go down, show that. All right. Now I'm gonna tell you guys right now, and this is just being just purely transparent. Like there's a time and a place. Like if you have an impact and it's a bad shot, you can own that. You always own that because we know as sportsmen, we know that stuff, right? Always own that. We'll have to, and I'll have to put this together and finish all this edit. What ended up happening is I don't know where it's at, but we actually did a video around a campfire and the audio got messed up, and that was part of why. Like I had a whole idea for the edit, but you got to own it. What happens, but you don't have to show necessarily like the bad stuff, and it's just part of hunting. It's a blood sport, all right. So you want to trim certain stuff out. You know, you don't got to show all the recovery. You don't have to show them propping it up, but you're going to drag and drop and you're going to show different things. So here, if you want to show like some skin and stuff, it's kind of cool. You can do some of that. Just show respect to that animal. All right. So this, I was excited to share that. I want to show like too, like here at the end, we're celebrating at camp. All right. And where we at? Oh, here. So my dad got this bottle of Tin Cup. I never even heard of it before that trip, but this is cool. This is the celebration. This is the community.
Wait, hold on a second.
All right. So it was so dusty in that tent. I never realized it until I put my flash on my camera. It looked like it was snowing. There it is. The camera's picking up all that dust. So, all right, he's fumbling with that. You don't want to show it, but show like the cheers, whatever. I mean, you can show that stuff, right? Show the community, camaraderie, and that's how you build your hunt. So when you're dragging and dropping and you're editing, it's all about putting the clips where you want them, but you have to have the content. You can't just make stuff out of nothing. All right. Let me see here. Let me answer some questions. And guys, this hour is going way faster than I ever intended. I apologize for that. All right. Yeah. See, and you guys understand as sportsmen, just remember when we're putting this stuff online, the whole world's there to see it, and they're going to rip us apart if it's not good. So that night we actually made elk tacos from the heart. It was so delicious too. And I have that in here. So like that'd be cool to show and talk about that. Sharing the harvest. We had to go back the next day for the meat because we're so far back in. And then we took the horse to pack it out. We hiked several miles. I think it was 3 miles or so. I guess it's not that big of a deal, but at the end of a trip, that's pretty grueling. So let's hear what my dad's got to say. Oh, that was the first morning. Okay, so now we're back to some of the stuff. When you have, okay, I'll tell you guys, and I was mentioning this earlier. When you're shooting with different cameras and different things, what will happen is sometimes it'll get saved and it'll get out of order. So you got to watch that. That's where like knowing what you have for shots, and I'm going to touch base on this for the last couple of minutes. When you upload that, like have a game plan to let people know what to expect, because the more that you can organize and do these things, the better the outcome is, because there's nothing worse than when guys are like, film this stuff, somebody edited it, now I'm frustrated because it's not the way I intended it. Like there's usually more than one side of that story. A lot of times it's a lack of, hey, for the editor, what actually happened and lack of content. So knowing how editing works is going to absolutely make you a better videographer, hands down. Always will. But get that community, get that education in there. You know, if you want to show like how things are quartered up, you know, I could splice this up and do that. All right. So this is, you know, kind of from the beginning, a streamlined, and like I said, I didn't get to do the whole thing, but you know, showing like we're coming out, the group setting up, here's the hunt. Elk hunt is challenging if you guys like, if you're like me and you go to the Midwest for a week, sometimes it's challenging because you get so much content. It's not just a one-day event, but like, let's see that, because the reality is it's not a one-day event. It's never a one-day event. I mean, unless like a PA opens on Saturday and I go shoot a deer, like, all right, it was a one-day event, but I don't want to shoot it. I don't want to be tagged out, right? Show what really it's about. That's what's going to grow Serviceside as a brand and help other hunters connect, because it's the truth. I want to see the truth. I want to see fair chase. You know, it's your tag, you fill it however you do it, rifle, bow, crossbow. I don't really care. Be ethical, you know, but make sure that you be honest too. But there's certain times that it's not being dishonest, it's being respectful. Okay. So I really hope that, and I apologize, this is going way faster than I wanted to. But I really hope that helps to show you how to do things. And I'm sorry I don't have better music to just kind of drop on here for you guys, but you know, when you drop music, like I said, you just go to your thing, you drop it on the bottom, and oh, what's it doing? But you're gonna drag. I don't know why it's doing that, but you're gonna drag the music under. I don't want that to overpower. Okay, so if you have any doubts about music, don't put it in there. Oh, it says unavailable. That's why. Okay. I am working on getting a library of royalty free too that we're going to use. That stuff will all come out. Pretty much the content you guys are getting in, like we want to get it graded and put together. We want to put some of it up this year, but I'm going to try to hold back the better stuff for Deer Slayer TV going into the next year. We were doing that pretty regularly, got away from it, just growing with Serviceside as a brand, trying to juggle things. We're working on getting an in-house editor. That's not myself because I'm juggling multiple things, but for next year, we're going to be using a lot of the content, so we have time. But let's really quickly talk about how to edit your content. Let me switch my screen to Chrome. So if you guys go to the website or on the app, forgive me, on the app, there is a spot that shows how to do this, but I'm going to, oh, no, not that one. I'm going to show you how Torn made this. So
if you have a Gmail account, what you want to do is click on your drive in your little Google Apps button here. Then this will pop up. Depending upon where you have the photos or video on your computer or your phone, all it is just a drag and drop. You're going to put it into your Google Drive. It'll upload. Then you basically just need to find the photo or video. I'm going to search it just so it's a little bit faster. If it pops up like this, you're going to click on share. That's actually a different photo altogether. And then you'll just put in whoever you're going to share it to. So if you're sharing it to me or Allison, my email is toren@serviceside.com. Hit that, make us an editor, and then hit send. I'll post Allison's email in the comments if you would like to share it to her as well.
all right, cool. So let me swip this back to myself. I guess this one. I don't know. You guys can see me, right? Okay, let me answer some questions here. And a generic shot list blaze, you know, like it's just tight and wide angles. I went over some of that stuff last year or last week. I can answer your individual questions as they come up, but like as far as like the editing, there's like it's telling a story and condensing it down. But what you got to do is remember, like that person, they were never there. So you guys probably were there when you filmed it. You got to show that to somebody that's never been there. You guys saw it took, now I'm explaining stuff and doing stuff, but like in an hour, how long it takes time. and it's not me trying to be a jerk. Like that's why like we're not giving the full $500 if it's not edited, because it's going to take, I got to pay somebody. It's going to take time to do that. We want content. I want to get you the content back. You can do whatever you want with it. I want you guys to grow your own YouTube channels. We want to grow our YouTube channel. You know, we monetize through the growth of the membership and the platform. I don't care that YouTube's demonetizing it. So that's why you should care. And this is a great opportunity if you're getting content. So, and I want to beat a dead horse with that, but we want to help you be successful. So if you guys have questions, don't hesitate to reach out even after this. Myself and Justin, we can help you out. Colin, that's a great point with the batteries. Bring extra batteries, like do that stuff. Vince, that's awesome. You can help out. Like, guys, we have so many connections and resources here. We're glad to help you guys out. Meat and cheese. I don't know what you're asking, Jeremy. Surf and turf, man. Recommendation. So yeah, so like Cody, I'm a Mac guy. If you like Mac, Final Cut Pro, hands down, so intuitive. But if you're like, Jeremy, and you're an Android guy, get yourself a Windows. It's going to be cheaper. Get yourself Adobe Premiere Pro. I think it's called DaVinci, or Toren told me one that's free. If you're not sure, email Toren, Toren at serviceside.com and say, hey, what's that free editing software? And he'll let you know. Yeah, guys. So I don't see a whole lot of questions. DaVinci, I don't know. I don't know if that's what it is, Jeremy. That might be it. Yeah. I hope that this is helpful. If it's helpful, good. If there's a lot of unknowns left, I'll gladly do another webinar another night. I got this meeting at 8 o'clock. But I appreciate you guys being here. I mean, that means a lot to me. We have more guys at the end than started, so that's cool. And I appreciate you bearing with me as I am not really Zoom savvy. I obviously messed up a couple times there, but yeah. Any other questions, you guys? The Apple is called Final Cut Pro, FCP Final Cut Pro X for Final Cut Pro, but it goes by FCP X for 10. There was like a Final Cut Pro 7 at one point. The free one's called iMovie. You don't have the ability to share and split your screen and do all that stuff as much though. So yeah, 13 minutes is what we're looking for, Rich. And the idea behind that is it's just where we find the sweet spot for attention. Otherwise, if we tell you guys a 30-minute video too, it's like you guys are gonna be putting fluff in there. Make it what it naturally comes out to. It might be 5 minutes, it might be 25 minutes, but like it's got to flow, it's got to hold attention. That's the ingredient to success on YouTube and stuff too, and getting you guys to watch this and retain it. And eventually, what we'd like to do is try to make more of a traditional type of thing. If we can get ourselves to like a Netflix or Amazon or something, that's our goal with that. So, Tony, you're welcome. Like I said, guys, thank you for being here. We're here to help. All right. And I really, from the bottom of my heart, appreciate you guys being a part of the program. For you guys that are not, Justin is glad to tell you about the program. And yeah, he said DM him, and we'd love to just keep growing this thing, getting content, and that's what's going to really grow the message. And my goal is to connect hunters, preserve the heritage, and all that stuff. So guys, I got to run. Appreciate you, and we'll talk soon. If you guys want to do another editing webinar too, tell Justin, and we'll set that up. All right, you guys have